All right, today we're going to dig into a pretty radical idea. What if the biggest expense in your business, yeah, I'm talking about payroll, could be completely transformed into your greatest asset? We're talking about a huge shift from hiring people to deploying intelligent, automated systems that just work for you 24/7. So let me start by asking you a question, and I want you to really think about it. What if your single largest business expense wasn't just a cost, but actually a strategic liability, one you could pretty much eliminate? For most businesses, that line item is payroll. We're looking at a figure around $16,000 a month just to keep a small, essential team up and running. That is a huge, constant financial pressure month after month. But here's the thing, that pressure, it actually opens the door for a totally different way of thinking. What if you could get even better results for just a tiny fraction of that cost? And look, this isn't some sci-fi fantasy. It's a real strategic choice that's available right now. Okay, first up, let's really break down the old way of doing things, what we're calling the legacy mode. This is all about the high cost of a purely human-powered operation. And this is where the numbers get really, really real. I mean, look at this breakdown. You hire just a basic marketing team. You need a social manager, a designer, maybe an SEO agency, and it all adds up so fast. Just like that, you're looking at an $11,000 monthly burn rate. And honestly, that's usually just the starting point. And this is the real kicker, right? This model has a hard ceiling. If you want to grow, you have to hire more people. And that means more management, more overhead, and a whole lot more complexity. Your growth is literally tied to your payroll, which, let's be honest, is a very risky place to be. So, what's the alternative then? Well, this brings us to the new model, automating the work that your payroll is supposed to cover. It's about swapping out those huge fixed salary costs for a dynamic, super efficient system. And when you put them side by side, the financial difference is, well, it's just staggering. On the left, you've got that $11,000 monthly burn of the legacy team. And on the right, the Agentic mode where AI systems can tackle a similar workload for about $1,500 a month. It's not even close. Just let that sink in for a second. Over a single year, that difference adds up to $114,000 in savings. Think about that. That's not just extra profit, that's capital you can pour back into actual growth, not just treading water to maintain operations. There's this quote that just nails the whole strategy. Fire the manager, keep the budget. See, the goal isn't just to slash costs and shrink your operation. It's about reallocating that budget from salaries into systems that can deliver a way, way bigger return on your investment. But listen, this is about so much more than just saving money. The real game changer here is what this does to your company's fundamental ability to actually get stuff done. And this brings us to something called the capacity gap. So what is the capacity gap? Well, it's just some simple, brutal math that every single entrepreneur faces. Your business needs over 100 hours of work a week to really thrive and grow, but you as a human being can only deliver maybe 50 hours on a good week. This isn't a time management problem, you guys. It's a structural deficit. And this chart, man, it just makes it painfully clear. There's no amount of waking up at 5 a.m. or using fancy productivity hacks that can bridge that gap. You're trying to fill a 120-hour need with a 50-hour capacity. You're set up for a losing battle from the very start. And this is where we have to totally shift our mindset. The argument here is you don't need to work smarter. You need to multiply your capacity. The goal isn't just about being a little more efficient, it's about fundamentally increasing your total output. And that's exactly what these AI systems are. Think of them as specialized digital clones of your best professional skills. A tireless marketer, a brilliant salesperson, a meticulous analyst, all working around the clock, 24/7, and they never ever get tired or need a coffee break. Okay, so let's step away from the numbers for a minute and talk about what this actually feels like in real life. We're going to look at the exact same day for the same business owner, but in two totally different timelines. So first up, a Tuesday in the before state. You know this day. It probably starts with that jolt of anxiety, scrolling through a mountain of unread emails. The entire day is just a chaotic scramble of fragmented tasks. You're putting out fires, answering messages, and desperately trying to find 5 minutes for the work that actually moves the needle. And the feeling at the end of a day like that, I think we all know it. You're completely exhausted. You constantly feel like you're behind. And worst of all, you feel trapped in the very business you created to be free. The stress is just off the charts. Okay, Now let's hit rewind and look at that same Tuesday, but in the after timeline. You wake up, you check your central AI command center, and it's already summarized your key metrics and flagged anything unusual. You get to spend your morning on deep, strategic work. Why? Because your automated systems are already handling all the social media posts, the lead qualification, and the data entry. And the feeling? It's a night and day difference. You feel accomplished, not exhausted. You feel ahead of the curve, not constantly behind. And most importantly, you feel free. The stress level just plummets because you're finally in control, not the other way around. So let's bring all of this home. Let's do the final calculation. When you really look at the different paths to growth, the choice becomes incredibly clear. This table just lays it all out, side by side. You could try to grind harder, which costs you your health for almost no gain. You can hire a team, which costs over $250,000 in year one and takes forever to show results. Or they're AI systems. The cost is a fraction of a team. You see results in as little as 30 days, and the capacity gain is just astronomical. And the turnover risk, it's zero. I mean, the numbers here really do speak for themselves. And that really gets to the heart of all this, doesn't it? Most of us don't start a business so we can work 80 hours a week answering emails. We do it for freedom. But if you don't have the right systems in place, it is so easy to accidentally build a prison of your own making. So I'm going to leave you with this one final thought. When you look at the cost, the stress, and all the lost potential of that before timeline, the real question isn't whether you can afford to automate, it's whether you can afford not to.